What's up, guys? I'm Rhett. Welcome back to Lawn Insider. Well, today is finally the day. The big leveling project is about to be kicked off, but as you can see there, I've called in the reinforcements. And the name of the reinforcements is actually Georgetown Lawn Leveling. A couple of weeks ago, they reached out to me after they saw one of the videos where I mentioned that I was planning on leveling and asked if they could come over and help me out on the leveling job, bring some of their equipment, and get some exposure on YouTube at the same time. And this is Marshall from Georgetown Lawn Leveling. And Marshall, I'm just gonna kind of let you take the reins here. Tell me how long y'all have been going, what kind of equipment you're using, and what area you service, stuff like that.
Sure. So I got into this business a couple years ago. I've had my lawn leveled by some other companies, and unfortunately, they didn't do a very good job. So I knew that there's a better way to do it, and I ended up diving into this. I've been doing this for the last 2 years now. I've leveled over 100 yards. Every yard's different. Some yards will do screen chocolate loam, which are the ones that have like really deep divots and ankle breakers. The more severely bumpy they are, then we use a different type of material. But when you're doing a yard like Rhett's yard, then you're going to use mason sand because he's already done it a few times. We're located in Georgetown, Texas. We service a lot of the areas within 20 or 30 miles around Georgetown, which could be as far as Belton out to Leander, Liberty Hill, Round Rock, Pflugerville, some areas in Austin. And anyway, we've never done one in New Braunfels, so that's why we're here.
All right, and let's just walk around, turn the camera around real quick, and tell us about some of your equipment.
Sure. So I'm sure everybody's familiar that we use level lawns. We have different sizes. The smaller ones we usually use on strips. The bigger ones we use obviously for bigger areas. You guys have probably seen this one. This is the Ryan Knorr rake. It actually works really well. This one probably gets used the most out of the three that we have. This is more for like the finishing areas.
Yeah, I mentioned that in my video last year. I have that drag that I showed you when we were breaking down the cores, and the drag is a lot better at the big job, so just moving the sand around initially, and then when the sand's already worked in a little bit and it starts getting a little lighter, the rakes are definitely where it's at there.
Oh yes, definitely. Our main tool that we use, that we like to use, is actually our 6-foot drag. It's 6 feet wide, it weighs about 95 pounds. It's based off of Connor Ward's, his drag that he made, and
Rebel.
It works awesome. Like, that really makes a yard level. It really pushes the material in, it's heavy enough, it works fantastic.
Right, so since it's 6 feet wide, you're going to be on both sides of those bumps and dips and divots and ruts that you're working on. So that's really important to have a surface that's wider than the surface that you're trying to level, because you want both ends to be on the yard and you want the middle part to be the spot that we're actually filling in with sand and leveling out. So that thing will definitely do the job. I don't have anything like that in the garage. And we just looked at some of the manual machinery over there, and now we're gonna look at some of the equipment he uses to move and put down that sand. So over here by the mason sand, we'll let Marshall go ahead and take us away here.
It's an Eco 250. Basically, a lot of golf courses use this. We use this for top dressing as well as spreading material. We could get through a lot of material fairly quickly and actually have a real uniform spread, and it can go anywhere. The slower you go, the more narrow the spread is. The faster you go, the wider the spread is. So typically when we start, we'll use this Toro Dingo 323. We can get through 20 yards of material in about 4 hours. It really makes the job a lot easier, better on our backs.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why when we do a job, we never skimp on material because we're not shoveling it. As you'll see, this is not going to take very long. This is 5 yards of mason sand. It should go fairly quick with this machine and this machine.
Yeah, I completely understand, because last year, every year that I've done it so far, I've been doing it manually by hand, and I've had my shovelmen here, Will and my brother Micah have helped on the sand pile, and then I've rolled it around in the gorilla cart and kind of dumped it in small piles around the yard. And let me tell you, this is definitely going to beat the heck out of that. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing this stuff in action. All right, so now I'm basically going to take y'all behind the scenes here, and I'm just going to show y'all what goes into leveling a lawn with Georgetown Lawn Leveling, and we're going to let the crew do their thing. little hectic around here, but I can't even begin to tell y'all how much faster it was for these guys with all their equipment to get this done and knocked out than it was for me and my brother and Will last year to do it by hand, or the last few years. So it really makes you appreciate all the equipment that goes into it. It makes you appreciate all the hard work that went into doing it DIY style too. But let me tell you, if you can get your hands on one of those eco spreaders, one of the top dressers, then it is definitely worth the investment because it makes quick work of this sand. Okay, and they just used the big drag here in the back, the 6-footer that we showed you earlier in the video. And hopefully you can see, so this is a really good example right here. So areas right here where you see more sand, okay, those are areas that are gonna be lower. And then areas like right here where the grass is popping out, those are the areas that are a little bit higher. And even before you put the sand down, more than likely just from mowing the lawn, you're gonna know the areas that are a little bit lower, the problem spots, the areas where it scalps a little bit more often. And in those spots, just put a little bit more sand because it's gonna take a little bit more material to bring those areas up and level with the surrounding yard. Well, that's a wrap on the lawn leveling project, and this is actually later that evening, but I just wanted to thank the guys at Georgetown Lawn Leveling for coming out and leveling my yard. They actually finished in under 3 hours, which is crazy because it usually takes us at least a couple of days to get through the entire project. But I already flashed this on the screen earlier in the video, but if you want to reach out to Georgetown Lawn Leveling, you can reach them on their Facebook, which is named Georgetown Lawn Leveling, or you can go to their website, which is georgetownlawnleveling.com. After a leveling project, it's still important to water, and I know that most of us in Texas right now are limited in how much or how often we can water just due to drought restrictions, but I'm just gonna try to get out here tonight with a handheld hose. We're actually on a non-watering week, but next week we can water and use the irrigation system, and you'll notice that after you water, a lot of the sand will disappear into the canopy. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap on today's filming, but I am gonna jump in at the 1 week and 2 week post-level mark just so y'all can see how the lawn's recovering. We're here for the 1 week post-leveling update, and technically it's the 8-day post-leveling update because I wasn't in town this weekend. But here is the lawn, and you can tell that for the most part the grass has gone ahead and poked through. There are a few spots that were lower initially, like here, and then right here in this spot that we spot leveled where you can still see a little sand. But overall the grass has done a good job bouncing back. And now I will go ahead and show you the side yard. It's basically the same story over here. So here's the side yard. This is actually the water meter. I need to get that sand off there and put it in one of the lower areas. But overall, same story. For the most part, the grass has poked through. I have not mowed the lawn yet since leveling because you don't want to mow too quickly while there's still sand out in the yard because that's going to wear away your reel or your blade a lot faster than it should. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and hop to the backyard. The backyard's actually bounced back really quickly, and I think that the backyard will actually be ready to get a mow in probably here in the next couple of days. But you can see that for the most part, the grass has pretty much taken over back here. You can see the toll that the watering restrictions have taken on us. So right here by the porch, it's a little lighter, and then back there in that back corner. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the way that the grass has bounced back, and I will see y'all in another week for the 2 week update. All right, we're here for the final update on the lawn here. And the first thing that you're gonna notice is probably that we're still looking a little shaggy. And that's because I haven't been able to get the reel out here on it. I've actually only rotary mowed once, And the reason for that is, well, it's twofold. Number one is that there's still some sand out here, and I don't want to get the reel out here and get sand in the reel and wear away the reel any faster than I have to. But number two, and really the main reason, is that I had surgery about 10 days ago. It was a little over a week after the leveling project took place, and it was nothing unexpected. It was something I knew that I was going to have. I just didn't know exactly when I was going to be able to go in, and once I was able to see the specialists and all that, that's just kind of how the schedule laid out. So I haven't been able to be out in the yard as much as I am accustomed to work the sand in and hand water and all that kind of stuff. And now I'm just going to show y'all the backyard here. And like I said, overall, not bad. I would say even, you know, if you think about how our watering schedule has been for the last 6 weeks, every other week we get to water once. And I haven't fertilized since before the leveling project. So overall, I'd say the yard looks pretty good. I am going to have to end up scalping it and resetting everything once we get rid of the rest of this sand. So that'll probably happen here in the next week or so, hopefully. And then we're going to be rocking and rolling and get this yard back to its former glory. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like. If you're liking the content and you want to continue to see more of it, hit that red subscribe button below. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave those in the comment section below. I'll see y'all again next week. Lawn Insider, out.